Warning! This podcast contains stuff. Spoilers. I value easily healing. What's up, everyone, and welcome to the ASOTV podcast for Pretty Little Liars. Season 7, the penultimate episode, episode 19. Farewell, my lovely. I'm your host, Dom. With me, we have Nikki.
Hi.
How's it going? I have the low lights on right now because
I know.
So that's why I'm like orange at the moment.
This episode, up until the very ending, I was actually impressed.
Yeah.
Actually impressed.
I'll fix my color balance a little. There. Now I'm not so orangey.
But,
You didn't like the happy ending?
that was not a happy ending. We know that's not a happy ending.
It's totally a happy ending.
No, because we still have episode 20, which is a 2-hour special.
Yeah, it's going to be a 2-hour special of everybody happy and frolicking and having picnics.
Yeah, everybody's gonna think everything's happy. Go have picnics, go have whatever in the bedroom. You know, everybody's gonna think it's a good time.
Picnics in the bedroom.
Anyways, but AD is not done with them. Done.
But AD drove off into the sunset.
That was probably them in a green screen, you know. I don't even know, because it was them in a green screen driving away. So it was so cheesy. It was so freaking cheesy looking, so fake. Like, it had to be some kind of stage thing or something just to. I know it's not done, and even though they're ending the series next episode, I feel like they're gonna leave it open enough that there might be some sort of spin-off down the road.
I don't think so. They tried the spin-off already, and we saw how well that worked.
I don't mean that kind of spin-off. I mean basically the same genre, the same kind of the same tropes that they cover in this show kind of spewed off onto, because we already kind of got like a new Allison character Emily had to deal with earlier in the season. I feel like there's still potential that way to just like grab in a whole new cast and see how that goes.
No, they've talked. Marlene King has no intention of continuing the series on in any way, shape, or form.
She does have that new series, right?
Yeah, Famous in Love, which is already airing, so.
Yeah, so I guess, I don't know, and yeah, all the actresses are moving on to bigger things. So, well, Arya's Lucy Hale, yeah, she's already slotted in a CW show for next year. So
this fall season.
This fall season.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, this episode was pretty decent, and I mean, it had me going, oh, a few times, and that doesn't actually, I don't really do that for this show ever, really. So
yeah. I mean, we started the episode off right where we kind of left off last week with Arya, with Rollins' body in the trunk, and we have the police pulling her over.
No, she was already pulled over. He was but pulling up to help is what he was doing.
Right, but that's still considered pulling you over, and it's just the term. I don't know, and yeah, it is. I'm 100% positive it is. I have family in the police force. It doesn't matter if you're at a complete stop or not. When the police pull up behind you, it is called pulling you over because you're not allowed to leave. Or it's resisting and all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, so Arya, panics and she locks her keys in the trunk of the car. So she's like, no, it's fine. My friends, they're coming with my spare key. He's like, oh, we don't have to go through all that. Let's see if we can do that. And he starts bouncing the trunk up and down, right? Now, it actually unlocks the car like the trunk. I'm like, if only that actually worked, you know, like you could sit there and just bounce the trunk up and down on cars all day
Um,
long, and it would just pop open. Like, no, it doesn't
I
actually
mean,
work like that.
no, no, it doesn't. But I mean, if it did, there'd be a lot more car break-ins.
Oh no, obviously, I'm just saying like
Hmm.
that's why it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
it's a little ridiculous to me. But you know, he just happened to get a call at the proper time that put him away, like turned him away, so Ari could get the keys out just in time and close the trunk and stop the officer from seeing Rollins' body in there.
Hmm.
It was just all really coincidental. And then Arya, after driving away, after having this near miss, goes, I need to just turn this body in. Like, if I turn this in, then I take the blame, and it saves everybody else, because Arya's still feeling real guilty for turning on them, you know,
Hmm.
for joining AD. So she's about to do that. That's when Ezra stops her. And he's like, "Oh, you know, you're completely clear. Like nobody's, you know, you have an alibi, all this stuff." And she goes, "Yeah, except for one problem. Rollins' body is in the trunk. That's a problem." So Ezra's response is, "I have a master's degree in American literature. There's nothing I can't do." I was like, "Really,
Well,
really, Ezra? That means you know how to hide a body? Is that what you're telling us, Ezra?"
yeah, obviously.
So you know they go
He's
outside.
probably written about it.
Probably they go outside. Ezra's gonna dispose of the body, but the trunk is already open. Rollins' body is gone. Dun dun dun.
Dun dun dun.
So
AD's been Fury this whole time.
that would be crazy. That would be crazy. But yeah, I don't know. And then like Ezra was mad at all the other girls because you know they turned on Arya, and he goes, "Look, no one in this room is perfect. You know, you all have baggage.
Yep.
Even Caleb, who chased him out. You know, and he was the one that helped Ezra find Arya in the first place because he had the spare set of her keys, which has the tracking system in it, and Caleb was able to track the car that way. I don't think that's how the keys actually work, but we'll go with that, Caleb. We'll go with that.
It's okay, Caleb. You can just do what you do.
But Caleb is very adamant that what he saw last episode with Mona is that Mona's actually AD. So him and Hannah decide they're gonna go confront Mona. Meanwhile, we cut to Mona in her apartment. The game is taken. She's got a note that says "Time for pie, be there," and it's for the Two Crows Diner.
Hmm.
So Caleb and Hannah get to the apartment just as she's getting ready to leave, so they decide to tail her. While they're debating what to do and wait, see who shows up and all that, Caleb just walks right in, sits down, and the way he sat down, and the way he's sitting there, and he's asking Mona, "How's the pie?" And he grabs the pie and he starts eating it. At this point, you're like, is Caleb AD? Like, you know,
You're
like,
making everybody seem like AD. Like,
right.
okay, the thing with Ezra, like, oh, I have a master's degree in literature. Obviously, I can hide a body. That
Hmm.
hasn't. There's no
Well,
connection
no,
there.
that
But
that was
whatever.
not that. It's more of time for pie. Be there. You know,
Hmm.
sits
I
down
know.
with the pie. Like there's nothing saying oh the because Ezra knew how to hide a body that makes him AD. But
No, no,
this
no.
just
But
was blatantly like
and
you
then
you could
yeah.
be AD right now, and that's what Mona I think was thinking. As Caleb is sitting down, Mona is sitting there thinking Caleb's AD.
Well, they did this to us last episode with Mona with the game.
Yeah.
Oh, she the way she's playing with it and whatever. She must be AD.
Well, no, I knew that she wasn't,
No,
and
no.
sitting down, I knew that Caleb wasn't. But
Yeah.
I think that 100% Mona thought that Caleb was AD
Well, yeah.
because she's sitting there and he's asking about the pie, and she's just like looking like what, you know, like she was shocked. Um, and then you know Caleb's like, you know, who's AD? You know, so at that point he gave himself away. Um, and she just responds, "Somebody's always stealing the game from me. I don't have it anymore. Somebody steal is they're always stealing it." And She freaks out. She runs into the ladies' room. They chase after her, and she's gone, like completely vanished. That's when
She's
they
so
discover.
crazy right now. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
that's when they discover there's a secret passage, in the bathroom of the Two Crows Diner. Not creepy at all. Not creepy at all.
I mean, those crazy, creepy passages in Radley. No, those weren't creepy at all either.
Well,
I
that's a
mean,
little different. That's in Radley. This is a secret passage coming up from who knows where underground that comes out into the ladies' room. Right?
yeah.
That's a little creepier than just a random door in Radley.
I just want to put this out there that my high school had secret passages
Mm-hmm.
under each classroom, and they all connected to each other, and windy and twisty, and it was really, really scary. So, I mean,
How many
I
times did you
can.
go into them?
I took one step down the ladder, and looked down and saw all the cobwebs and dirt and grossness, and I was like, uh-uh.
I would have been all the way down there.
Oh, of course you would have. But
I would have
like,
been messing with teachers all the time, shooting spitballs up from them. Oh, it would have been so
oh,
fun. I'm sure
eh,
most of them were covered though.
yeah, they were like in like the back rooms where, it was storage where the teachers kept like the one was the main entrance was in our biology storage room. So the teacher had the key to the room and everything. So it wasn't like there was any kids getting in there. The only time we got down there was when he let us. Um, but I'm just kind of like saying like, I know that there's passageways in old buildings
Mm-hmm.
everywhere and all over the world.
Doesn't
So
change the fact that coming into the ladies' room is creepy. Like
it probably
you could be sitting in your stall and
the
some
thing is
creeper
though,
just busts in through the wall. Like,
true, but it was probably not a diner or a
oh,
thing
for sure,
before it was built. Like that was probably not the ladies' room.
for sure.
So it's yeah, it's I can see it, but it is weird that it happens to be the ladies' room now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And to think that nobody's found that up until this point, like when they were renovating the place to put the plumbing and all that in, like, it seems a little weird to me. But, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Um, and, we see while the girls are kind of discussing what to do, like before they go tell Mona, we see the bottle at Spencer's with the note in it, classic sign from Mary that she wants to talk. She says she has unfinished business with Spencer. She's going away. Gives a gift to not just her, but Allison as well. And I'm like, that's a little weird, but then I forgot that Allison and Spencer are actually kind of related, so
Hmm.
it makes a little more sense.
Because
Um, yeah, so Mary leaves this to Spencer and Allison. She leaves the Lost Woods Hotel. Um, she does this because Tanner's getting really, really close. Like, Tanner is getting ready to move in. She's getting rush warrants put on all of them for their arrest.
big
Like,
old desk just full of warrants, and she's sitting there gleaming from and smiling from ear to ear, like she's like, "I got this. I am so get nailing these girls to the wall." But
yep. So, Mary Jake left that to them for money for lawyers, basically.
mhm.
Sell the place, use it for money for lawyers. Um, Meanwhile, Emily and Allison, they're worried that the baby's going to grow up in the system, kind of like, the way Charlotte did and
Mhm.
the way Spencer kind of almost did. Um,
Yeah.
if they're in jail, when all this happens. And while this is happening, you see a pipe, like a little gas pipe, coming down the chimney, and it's just gassing the house, and it knocks him out. So we get some knockout gas. That's why they both fell asleep in the house. When they wake up, well, before they woke up, we have scene that it was from either last season or the season before. It was when the 6 month or the 6 year jump took place.
Was it 6 years?
Yeah, something like that. Almost positive 6 year jump, 5 year jump, something like that. It was many year jump. Um, and we have all the girls running in, telling, Allison, he's back, all this stuff. And when we originally saw this, I'm like trying to fit this into the timeline, like when this all takes place, and
Hmm.
it didn't make sense because by the time Allison discovered that Rollins was like, after her and all this stuff, he was dead. So
Yeah.
like in my head, this scene never fit anywhere in the timeline, and now it makes sense because it was part of a dream sequence that we saw oh so long ago.
Hmm.
So I love that they finally wrapped that up, so my head can let that go. But yeah, so um, they wake up and the game is back. Right? The game shows up, and Arya calls. Uh, they're there. Arya shows up. We think it's the police moving in, but it's Arya.
Hmm.
So the girls all try and meet up. Then there's this weird like roadblock in the middle of the road that they had to pull a U-turn on. Um, but like we never found out what the purpose of the roadblock was. I don't know if it was like a DUI, if they were looking for the girls. Like no information on that whatsoever. Um, and then we had Hannah. After the Two Crows incident, she didn't take the passageway with Caleb and Spencer,
Mm-mm.
which actually Caleb and Spencer had a nice little moment down there.
Yeah.
Little like flirtatious moment, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like a flirtatious like I want you back kind of moment. It was
Oh,
a flirtatious like, yeah, you had this and don't you ever forget it kind of thing. Like
ugh. Well, I mean, he did come clean to Spencer saying that him and Hannah got married and stuff like that,
yeah,
and that he felt bad to Spencer.
yeah. I think he
Eh,
legitimately does. You know,
I mean, if he knew about what Toby and Spencer just did, he wouldn't be feeling bad.
probably not.
So,
Probably
no.
not. But speaking of which, they can't get a hold of Toby. Like they were trying all episode to get a hold of Toby. Ezra can't even get a
Yeah.
hold of him. It just goes directly to voicemail. So is Toby AD? Is Toby kidnapped by AD? Is this part of the game, or is Toby just like in hiding somewhere? We don't know.
I mean, he's kind of been unreachable since Yvonne passed, so he's only stepping out of his zone when he wants to be when he wants to contact somebody. So, I mean, I don't see it as a AD play. I just see it as him still grieving and trying to deal with things.
Yeah. Yep. But Hannah, in the meantime, she goes back and she goes looking for Mona. Um, she's checking a bunch of different locations. She's near the clock tower. Right, we're getting the rose, not rose, but the flower petals falling, and she looks up and she sees the tower is open. So she goes back to the clock tower, and I'm sitting here going, "That's a mistake. It's a mistake, Hannah, because this is where
Yep.
your body thing, because it wasn't actually her. It was like the doll, the giant life size doll, was hung. Like as like don't do this, Hannah. Don't do it.
No, Hannah, that's foreshadowing.
Yeah, exactly. But it ends up being okay. It's just Mona up top. She's throwing down rose petals, but she's dressed like she was back in season one.
Yeah.
In not even season one present day, but season one flashbacks. Like
Yeah, like before,
before
you know,
Allison,
before Allison.
disappeared and all that. And she calls Hannah Charlotte, which then prompts a flashback sequence between Mona and Charlotte at the top of the clock tower, and we find out exactly how Charlotte died. Like
Hmm.
this is like 2 seasons now, waiting to see how this happened.
Yeah, well,
Not really. I don't know. I think it's only been a season, but it feels like two the way they do their breaks.
yeah.
Um, but um, in the
That was really screwed up, by the way. Like,
yeah,
Mona is, like, I've said it multiple times, she's my favorite character, but, like, she was just, like, so out of it. I, whew. Like,
yeah,
and for it to have, like, for her to have a connection, like, that was pre-season one Mona, basically.
Yep.
She was quiet. She was kind of like awkward and like um for her to be dressed and acting like that when she's talking about Charlotte makes me think that she knew about Charlotte long before everybody else.
I don't know. She seemed kind of shocked at the big reveal of Charlotte way, way back. So I don't
Mona
know.
Mona's a good actress. And not even talking about the actress that plays Mona. Mona herself is a
Yeah.
great actress.
I don't know, but like, cause in the flashback we saw that that Charlotte was bragging that she basically took all their identities and was in
Hmm.
full control, all this stuff, and they got into like Mona didn't want to kill Charlotte, but she wanted Charlotte to kill herself. Like she was
Hmm.
trying to force her into jumping. She didn't do, and they ended up in like this pushing brawl kind of thing, and that's when Mona pushed her up against you know, it was like a beam in the wall,
Yeah.
and so that was the murder weapon. And Mona's just like, look, it was there the whole time, and it was in plain sight, and that's why nobody could find it. You know, because everybody was looking for an actual object,
Hmm.
and that wasn't the case. So, um, after revealing this, the girls get two more puzzle pieces on the car, and they go and put it in the game board,
Hmm.
and it reveals the grand prize. Um, the eyes have it. So, using the phone and whatnot, it turns on this like Pokemon Go augmented reality kind of thing onto the game board, right? Was it? Was
Hmm.
it not? It was,
It was, yeah.
and it walked over to the mystery location, which actually sprung up, and on the phone's camera we saw that the mystery location was actually Aunt Carol's. So now they're like, but we've gone over every inch of the place, you know. Well, Charles's grave is there. It's not a real grave, but it's there, you know, because they made it seem like Charles died when Charles actually became Charlotte. So it was an empty grave. And AD now put Dr. Rollins in Charles's grave. So the girls walk over to the grave, and it's like, what are you gonna do with the body? Like, you gonna destroy it? Like, what is the purpose of digging it up right now? You know. But the girls talk it out, and they decide to walk away from it. They don't want to end up going crazy like Mona. And
Hmm.
as they walk away, Detective Tanner shows up with a backhoe.
Yeah.
You ladies need any help? It's just like, oh no. No, like it just got so bad. It got so bad at this point. I'm like, it's like these girls 100%, and I'm never going to change my stance on this. They 100% deserve to go to jail.
Oh yeah.
Um,
The
they
shit that
they
they've
they
done. Oh my
actually
God.
murdered someone,
Yeah.
right? Whether you murdered a good person or a bad person is irrelevant.
Yep.
You still murdered someone. Um, so they dug the body up. They found Rollins' body with all the girls with shovels. So now they're assuming, you know, that the girls planted it there, whatever, buried it, and she takes them all in. They're left to kind of chat amongst themselves. Spencer wants to tell the truth. It's not going to help them get off the problem, but because they're not going to get off. There's no way.
No.
Until they see Mary Drake confessing to the murder of Archer Dunhill. Also admitted to murdering her sister, Jessica De Laurentiis, and how Rollins was using that to hold over her head to force her into helping him. But in the end, Mary just wants to protect her family, and she takes the blame for all of it. So Tanner lets all the girls off the hook, even though Tanner said, I don't believe you're innocent. But what I believe and what I can prove are different things, and the judge wants everything wrapped up in a neat little bow and doesn't want a
Hmm.
bunch of, you know, loose ends that can never be tied.
Yep.
So,
That's like this show in a nutshell.
yep, yep. So, Mary Drake, she's going away to jail.
Hmm.
And The girls think everything's all right now. They have their happy little ending going.
Yep.
The game
Because
powers down.
yep.
As soon as Mona confessed the truth about Charlotte, we still don't know who AD is.
No.
And the synopsis for next week doesn't tell us much anyway. It says 7 seasons of secrets come tumbling out in the 2-hour series finale as the ultimate endgame comes to light.
Why would why? I don't even know anymore. I'm just like the ending was so cheesy and fake. I couldn't even. Like that's why I had like they
You
I
mean
don't
AD driving into the sunset?
yes.
Okay.
Because I don't know. It's that's why I had that whole spiel at the beginning of this podcast. It's just I don't feel like I feel like it's like in those old Who Framed Roger Rabbit where they have him in the car and there's that rolling scene behind him and it looks like he's driving, but it's so friggin' fake. You know it's fake.
Hmm.
That's how I felt this scene was. Like I feel like AD was sitting in a car that was just rumbling a little bit, looking like it's moving, and there was just a green screen of
I don't know. They did that whole pan out with the car driving down the road away from the camera.
staged.
Okay.
No, it's not a happy ending. No, I know.
I
I know
don't. I
AD
don't
is not
necessarily
done
think
with
that
them.
scene was green screened. It's just very difficult to shoot camera footage in a moving vehicle like that, which makes it look like no matter how you film it, if you do film it with a green screen or if you don't, and you get a really steady cam shot with tracks and all kinds of stuff on the side, it still looks fake no matter how you shoot it. So
I don't know. I don't think AD is going very far.
no, of course not.
No. And, them thinking everything's A-okay, definitely not A-okay. They still have to deal with Tanner and the side things because Tanner's not going to let this go.
No.
All of the secrets, all of the secrets. So that means, everything that Allie's done that
Yep.
she still hasn't confessed to, everything that Arya, Emily, especially Spencer. Like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, like, they're all gonna hate each other at the end. I think the only two that might try and make it work is Emily and Allison. I think the rest of them are just gonna be like, later Gators. We're
Yeah.
done with like all these years of friendship. It's just gonna just be like, because I mean that did happen in the time where the 5 year, 6 year gap or whatever. They did kind of go their separate ways and they came back to Rosewood.
Yeah.
But
So I was gonna ask you, what is one thing you want to see in the finale? Anything. It could be the return of a character. It could be a specific answer to a question that was left, long ago.
I don't know.
I have a
Because
list of like
there's
5 things that I would like to see.
it's a list of like a bazillion things because I
Well, name
think
one.
like I can't because there's too many.
What?
I was also talking about it at the beginning of this podcast. Like I don't feel like they're gonna be able to tie up all the ends and there's gonna be something left
I want
open.
to see Arya's mom. Right?
Yeah.
I would love to see Arya's mom. I want to see Tippy the parrot. Right? It's been so long since we've seen Tippy the parrot.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see an answer to the lacrosse stick. I want to see an
Never.
answer to the goddamn barrel.
That's not gonna happen either.
And I want to see Mrs. Grunwald.
That's interesting. Yeah,
Right?
that
Those are my top 5. That's what I want to see. So I'm just asking for one thing from you. What do you want to see out of the finale?
I don't know. I kind of want to see another time jump, like of them actually being happy,
Yeah.
and I want to see Emily and Allison being a family with their baby.
Yeah, that would be
I
nice.
want to see that come full circle, like just be like, oh, happy, like an actual happy ending where there's sunshine and fucking rainbows,
I
you
just
know?
love that neither one of our answers included the actual identity of AD.
At this point, I don't give a shit. Just
No,
get the
you
fuck
do.
out of my
You
show.
were so mad. You were so mad watching the end of this episode when they didn't reveal who AD was.
I didn't care. I was pissed off about the last scene. I didn't care that they didn't reveal AD. It was just I didn't like the last scene. Yeah, AD was in it. I didn't care that the face wasn't revealed or anything. I I didn't care that we didn't get to see their bare hands and still had gloves on and still had the hoodie on. I don't care about the identity of AD at this point because we've had to know about we'd had to go through many seasons of A and then Super A and then AD and all these stupid fucking A names. I'm done with it.
I still think it's Spencer.
Maybe it is. I don't know. I don't care about the identity.
I think it's Spencer.
It's either all the girls go to jail or
I
you
hope
know
that happens too.
or at least some of them get a happy ending.
All the girls go to jail, and the new spin-off is Pretty is the New Black.
Yeah, because they're gonna throw all these girls in the same fucking max prison or whatever.
Yep.
No,
Yep.
I don't think that would happen.
Do you have anything else for us?
Can we just end this series already?
Yeah, we are next week.
Good.
Next
Thank
week
you.
we'll be covering. There's a 2-hour finale as well as an hour post show answering any other loose end kind of questions with Marlene King herself. So we'll be covering both of those next week. So
Separately or together?
we'll have to see how it's done. I don't
Okay.
have an answer for that yet.
I
Depends
feel like
after we watch
separately
it.
is gonna work better, but that's just me.
We will see.
Mhm.
So until next week, Nikki, where can the people find you?
On Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
And you can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM. You can find us all and more on Facebook, Gmail, G+, Twitter, MySpace, and right here on YouTube at /ASOTV podcast for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, games, and movies. Until next week. I think you're A.
I could be.
I think you are. You better have a black hoodie on next week.
Oh my god, I'm gonna go look for one. I really am.
I don't believe you. You're gonna forget.
I will.
You're
Nope.
gonna forget.
Write it down. Never forget if I write it down.